queens and kings. This huge meeting will take place in the Dragon Pit a bit later in the episode. Jon and Daenerys will basically bring a captured White in the Dragon Pit to prove to other important people that the danger is real, convinced that will persuade the other lords to send their armies north. Daenerys is bringing the Unsullied and Dothraki in case that Cersei has a trap for her. Dany places her armies outside King's Landing's doors. Jaime and Bronn oversee King's Landing's defenses, which is when they see the whole Dany's army outside and they admire it. Tyrion, Jon and others arrive with Daenerys at the capital via ship. Once docked, Tyrion, Jon, Dany, a few Dothraki blood riders, Jorah, Davos, Theon and the Hound, who is the one with the White in a cage, are evaded by Bronn when they arrive. Brienne and Podrick have arrived as well. Brienne and the Hound see each other and Brienne is amazed that the Hound is somehow alive. They talk about Arya, and one of the things that is being said is when Sandor asks her if she should not be taking care of Arya instead of being in the south. Brienne replies with, "The only person needing protecting is the one who gets in her way." The Hound smiles and says he's not planning to be in Arya's way. While Brienne and Sandor are having a conversation, another reunion is taking place as well. Tyrion and Podrick meet each other after a long time. Podrick still admires and loves Tyrion. He even says to him Tyrion is still his lord. Then majority of them start arriving at the Dragon Pit. This is also most likely a moment when this leaked script page is taking place. It says, Missandei looks up and sees a foreboding piece of the Dragon Pit peeking above the foliage line. She asks, "Why did they build it?" Tyrion replies, "Oh, it was hundreds of years ago, long before my time." Asks Ser Jorah. Jorah lets the dig slide and says, "Dragons don't understand the difference between what's something and what isn't. Land, lives, children, letting them around the city was a problem." Tyrion also says something about Aegon Targaryen's 3 great dragons, Vhagar, Meraxes and Balerion the Dread. Then they stated that 25 Lannister guards has rounded the and is heading their way, led by Bronn. Brienne and Podrick are walking on their own, but the 3 guards on Brienne and 1 on Pod to make it clear that they are the guests of the nation. As I already said in one of my previous videos, the Dragon Pit is located in King's Landing, and therefore a huge amount of Lannister guards is not surprising. Other lords also start to arrive, pretty much everyone has already arrived, but Cersei is not there yet. Tyrion feels like it might be a trap and looks around. Cersei arrives with Euron the Mountain and Qyburn and they take a seat. Clegane brothers make an eye contact and the Hound gives that "kill you" look, but Clegane Ball is not going to take place on this meeting nor later in the episode. The Hound then brings the cage that houses a White to the middle of the amphitheater. Cersei asks Tyrion where is his queen, as Daenerys is not there yet, which is when Dany arrives on top of Drogon and with Rhaegal giving them company, leaving everyone amazed, even Cersei and Euron. A few moments later, while Euron is still amazed by Drogon's arrival, Cersei wonders where's the 3rd dragon. Tyrion then explains why all lords, queens and kings have been invited to attend this meeting. Meanwhile, Theon and Euron see each other and Euron reveals to him that he did not kill Yara, challenging Theon to rescue his sister. Jon tries to explain to all of them that the Night King and his army of the dead are real, pointing out that they need to unite all their armies in order to stand a chance in the Great War that is coming. Cersei doesn't believe him, which is when the Hound opens the White's cage and the White comes out like a wild beast towards Cersei, but Sandor has him chained up and is not able to reach her. Cersei is amazed and afraid at the same time. The Hound then starts to demonstrate how a White cannot be killed by normal weapons, nor by just chopping it up bits by bits, since it continues to move even when the Hound cuts it up. Whites can withstand removal of limb, and even amputated limbs will still move around on their own. This is when Jon yells out that there are only 2 ways to kill a White, the first fire, so they set fire to one of White's arms and the arm stops moving. The second is Dragonglass, to which Jon uses to stab a White, resulting with its death. This is the proof that everyone needs to come together in order to survive the long night. Jon says, "There's only one war that matters, the Great War, and it is here." Euron pretends to be afraid and asks how many of these creatures are there, to which Jon says hundreds of thousands. Euron then asks, "Well, can they swim?" And Jon responds with, "No." So Euron says, "Well, I'm going back to Pike," and leaves. As I said a few moments before, Euron is only pretending to be afraid, and while he said he's heading back to Pike, he's actually going to Essos to hire the Golden Company and to bring them with his Iron Fleet to Westeros to serve under Cersei's commands. Anyways, let's get back to the Dragon Pit. Cersei sees the danger and says once the long night is over she must still be a queen, and offers Jon Snow to be Warden of the North, but Jon then swears an oath to Dany in front of everyone. Jon says, "I can only serve one queen, and that queen is Daenerys Targaryen." Cersei leaves in an anger and is unwilling to collaborate because she is unwilling to bend the knee to Dany. Brienne tries to convince Jaime to change Cersei's mind, saying that he needs to come with the Lannister army to the north to support the living side. Jaime says that he admires her loyalty towards the Starks, to which Brienne replies with, "It's not about loyalty, it's about survival." Jaime has seen all of this and believes that the Great War is coming and will do all he can to help them. Now that Tyrion, Dany and Jon have seen Cersei's negative response, it means they will not have some of the southern armies as support in the north. Tyrion heads to the Red Keep with the mountain behind him. Once he arrives in the Red Keep, he and Cersei have a conversation on how she blames him for everything the Lannisters have gone through. This is a moment in which this leaked script page is taking place. There's stated that Tyrion stands before his sister, Cersei regards him but not speak, Tyrion sits down. Cersei then says, I suppose I should not be surprised, she's very much your sort of woman, a foreign whore who doesn't know her place. Tyrion responds with, a foreign whore you can't beat or intimidate, that must be difficult for you. Cersei replies, and so you brought her here and her pet Northerner, whom I suppose she convinced to bow down. Cersei is talking about Daenerys and the pet Northerner would be Jon Snow, who bent the knee to the Mother of Dragons at this point. Then Tyrion is pretty much explaining to Cersei how wrong she is about her belief that he's been trying to destroy their family, while it's actually quite opposite. Tyrion says that he's the one who prevented Daenerys from attacking King's Landing with dragons and therefore he's the only reason Cersei is still alive. Tyrion says, Daenerys didn't want to negotiate. She didn't want to bring you words, she wanted to bring you fire and blood until I advised her otherwise. If I'm so committed to destroying my family, then why are you still here? It's a story you've been telling yourself since I was born, but it's not true. I don't want to destroy our family, I never have. Then Tyrion says, if I'm so evil, why don't you order the mountain to kill me? Cersei doesn't give a command because she's interested in what he will say next. Tyrion also finds out that she's pregnant. Tyrion basically decides to drink wine and Cersei doesn't, so he calls her out saying she doesn't drink because she's pregnant. Cersei doesn't admit this nor does she deny it, but her facial expression gives it away. After having quite a long conversation, Tyrion then heads out with Cersei to meet the rest of the people that were in the Dragon Pit. Cersei says that the conversation with her brother Tyrion has changed her mind and promises that she will send troops north to help against the army of the dead. As probably most of you guessed, Cersei is lying. She does not intend to support the living side and will not send her troops north. Later in the episode, Jaime and Cersei have a conversation about the upcoming war. Jaime doesn't know that Cersei has no intention on sending her army north, and doesn't know that she basically wants the army of the dead to kill the northern armies and their allies. Jaime is looking at a map of the north and starts gathering the Lannister army to get ready for a long travel when Cersei asks him what he's doing. Jaime replies, I'm getting ready to go north with the army. This is a moment in which Cersei reveals her true intentions to Jaime. She firstly reveals that she has no intention of sending her army north and says, they have dragons and troops, they can handle it. Then she tells Jaime that she has obtained an agreement with Euron. While he pretended to be a coward who is heading back to Pike, he actually went with his Iron Fleet to Essos to hire and bring the Golden Company to Westeros on her behalf. Upon hearing out Cersei's true intentions, Jaime will finally figure out who his sister and lover truly is, which will result with Jaime finally leaving Cersei. Okay guys, this would be about the first half of an episode, while the other half is currently in the process and will be released as soon as possible. Make sure you stay tuned for the second part because it contains the first scenes of Rhaegar Targaryen in the series, as well as death of one major character and most importantly the last scene of the episode that will be nothing less than epic. Anyways, the season finale seems quite exciting so far and most importantly accurate, but let me know your opinion about all of this in the comment section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.